From where we last left off, the HMS Hawke was ordered to be constructed under the Naval Defense Act and already had a successful military career. But however, on September 20th of 1911, she was involved in a collision with the White Star Line's newest vessel, the RMS Olympic. The repairs took 3 years to undertake, and finally she is back in service. What the HMS Hawke doesn't know is that in July of 1914, a massive war is on the brink of exploding. Prior before the First World War, in February of 1913, the Hawke joined a training squadron that is based at Queenstown, Ireland, when she served with the rest of the Edgar-Class ships. Then in August 1914, it happened. On July 28th, 1914, World War I erupted across Europe after months of political tensions between Germany and Great Britain, caused by militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. The cataclysmic event that led to the entire continent of Europe at war was the assassination of this man, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria. A massive chain of events after the assassination of the Archduke led to an event called the July Crisis, to which Austria-Hungary sought to inflict military blows to Serbia to show its strength and to dampen Serbia's support. As many countries tried to hold themselves back, on July 27th, Austria-Hungary already prepared themselves, and the next day they sent a telegram to the Kingdom of Serbia, thus declaring war, causing one of the two deadliest global conflicts in human history. Less than a week later, on August 4th, 1914, Great Britain declares war on Germany after the expiry of an ultimatum to the German Empire. The Admiralty assigned ships to different units and detachments. Therefore, the HMS Hawke would operate blockade duties between Shetland Islands and Norway in an effort to starve Germany into submission. In the early months of World War I, Germany unleashed a devastating weapon that feared ships across the sea, the U-boat. A flotilla of U-boats attacked the Royal Navy warships in the North Sea as their aim is to sink capitalist ships of the British Grand Fleet and to reduce the numerical superiority over the German High Seas Fleet. There are rules of engagement when it comes to merchant ships, but that is another story for another time. While this is a documentary that is actually focused on the HMS Hawke, we're going to take a step back and mention the predator of this story, SMU-9, the German U-boat that sunk the HMS Hawke. SMU-9 is a German-type U-9 U-boat, one of the 329 submarines operating for the Imperial German Navy. She's armed with 4 torpedo tubes, 2 up at the bow and 2 more in the stern, and can carry up to 6 torpedoes. Originally, the U-boat was equipped with a machine gun, augmented with a 3.7 centimeter Hotchkiss gun when the war broke out. The man you see in this photo is Captain Lieutenant Otto Weddigen. He was the captain of U-9 at the time the HMS Hawke was still around, and later reassigned to U-29 until his death on board after his sub was rammed by the HMS Dreadnought. And you know, for a fact, I think the HMS Dreadnought actually did taught the soon-to-be HMT Olympic some pointers on how to chase down and ram an attacking sub. I'm sure a part of that basically means that the propeller of the Olympic given a huge elbow drop to SMU 103, but that's another story for another time though. Now, jokes aside, in September, Captain Weddigen sank 3 armored cruisers in a single action on September 22nd of 1914 as SMU-9 took on 3 obsolete cruisers and won. 1,459 British sailors were killed, and the 3 cruisers of the 7th Cruiser Squadron were lost. Weddigen nicknamed the squadron as Live Bait Squadron. Now, jumping back to the HMS Hawke, in October of 1914, the 10th Cruiser Squadron was deployed in the North Sea as a part to stop German warships from attacking a troop convoy coming out of Canada. Then, on the 15th of October, the 10th Cruiser Squadron was patrolling off Aberdeen, deploying a line abreast in intervals of 16 kilometers or 10 miles. Hawke stopped at 9:30 to pick up mail from her sister ship, the Endymion, and one of the moves that actually proved fatal for the Hawke is that this ship actually never zigzagged. And you have to remember, zigzagging is basically a method to throw off U-boats. Now, this is a common practice, throw off some mariners to pick a target, but this kind of proved fatal for a specific ship on May 7th, 1915.
But that's another story for another time. Captain Whittigan actually did notice the HMS Hawke in his periscope and ordered one torpedo to be fired, and this torpedo would be launched and it would hit the Hawke at 10:50 a.m. It is believed that the torpedo did struck one of the ship's closest magazine areas, so we'll just say somewhere right around here, resulting in an instant explosion when the torpedo struck its target.
The crew on board the HMS Hawke leapt into collision stations, and the ship quickly took on a list to starboard, thus making lowering a collision mast and lifeboats nearly impossible. The ship would go under in 8 minutes, taking down 524 officers and Captain Hugh Williams, with only 70 survivors.
The rest of the squadron actually did notice something was amiss, as German U-boat SMU-17 made an attempt to attack the HMS Theseus. But this attack was actually highly unsuccessful. The squadron was ordered to retreat at a high rate of speed northwest, and it was actually at this moment there was no response to the order that was actually received by the HMS Hawke. The HMS Swift was actually dispatched from Scapa Flow to locate the Hawke, but when the ship came to the site, they found a raft carrying 22 men and a lifeboat with 49 survivors that was rescued by a Norwegian steamer named the Modasta.
The photos that you saw in the beginning of this documentary in part 1 are the only known photographs of the wreck of the HMS Hawke. She is located below 360 feet of water, 70 miles east of Fraserburgh, Scotland. She is lying on her starboard side and is in complete remarkable condition. This dive was conducted by Lost in Waters Deep on board the dive vessel Classina. It took until August 12, 2024 for the HMS Hawke to be discovered, 110 years later. They also announced that the full page on the website will be made live once all the photos are collected and the crew profiles are finished.
Lost in Waters Deep's mission is to discover the World War I naval losses off the mainland Scotland, the Western Isles, Orkney, and Shetland. They were founded by Kevin Heath and Wendy Sadler. They both assisted in the HMS Albacore project, which actually researching and writing the casualties' histories. The organization was named after a poem by Eileen Mahoney, which actually inspires further development to research other World War I Royal Navy losses. The website, to which I will actually link down below, will tell the stories of these vessels and share the crew histories of those that are lost to make sure their sacrifices is never forgotten. And also, Lost in Waters Deep, I want to thank you guys for help providing the footage of the photographs that you actually saw in this video. I couldn't have done it without you guys. So, anyway, once again, I want to thank you guys for watching this documentary. It really took a lot for me to work on. So, feel free to subscribe to this channel and also tap the notification bell for more uploads in the future. I really appreciate it. So, once again, my name's Dustin. I will see you guys in another video.